Rollerball in IMAX, so I may go see it.
So he does that.
I believe there's a God above.
He does that and then fucking some bullshit like that.
See up to 26% more in IMAX. Let's just see up to 26% more.
Oh, yeah. I think it said it was... I know the movie was filmed in IMAX footage. This is a weird trailer. Like, it's showing you what IMAX would be compared to the regular movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can see more of Tony Stark's head.
Oh, shit. Started recording, apparently.
all right.
A few minutes ago. No, I'll see. About a minute ago.
Was it when Rick was like, "This doesn't need to be in the podcast"?
No, I think
I'll tell you what. I'd like the stupid Iron Man like rocket booster thing.
What's wrong?
The thing that like forms. No. What forms around his feet and blasts him off into twirly space.
Yeah, when he's chasing after the spaceship.
Yeah. Oh, this movie. We don't need to dedicate another podcast.
No, bro. It's gonna be hype.
By the way, I'll tell you what though.
Once that movie comes out in 3 weeks, that's when I'll.
Didn't I call it? You're like, no, the Soul Stone's obviously in Wakanda. I'm like, well, maybe Cap and them just show up in Wakanda. And you're like, that's stupid. Why would they do that? Shows it.
He was already there.
No, he's not.
In Wakanda?
They showed them. That was in the first trailer. Cap shows up. What are you talking about? I said that he wasn't showing up.
No. In like the newer material where like they're deboarding whatever plane and he's like walking up to T'Challa. Like
all in the new trailer.
Looking at.
But that was in the first trailer. They were in Wakanda running together.
No, but they're just in Wakanda.
Uh-huh.
You know, you're like, obviously the Soul Stone's in Wakanda because blah, blah, blah. I'm like, there could be another stone there. Like, they show up with people there.
Yeah.
Thus bringing Thanos there. They think they're already there.
I think I brought it up already on one of the podcasts that I read the thing that they bring Vision there to hide him.
Of course.
Yeah.
I guess they figure out they're taking his stone.
Called it.
Well, because it already assaulted him and he's trying to save him.
I was thinking the other day, you know how Thor only has one eye?
Yeah.
Where fucking Thanos just goes up to him and just does the fucking Kill Bill and just takes his other good eye.
You think he's that?
And Thor's like, ah!
How do you feel about that Stormbreaker? That toy?
I haven't looked at any of the toys because I know they're massive spoilers.
Oh, okay. I won't spoil it for you.
Yeah, I haven't touched any toys because once I heard that the toys are showing stupid stuff.
This was like 3 weeks ago.
I know. I haven't looked
That's
at it.
unfortunate the toys ruin it like
sometimes they don't. Like the Mandarin fight against Iron Man was Mandarin and the giant spider robot. And that was Iron Man 3 Final Battle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was Mandarin and this giant fucking mech shooting lasers.
Well, even BVS. BVS had Luthor in armor, and that never happened. And like in their toy line, it had it. But this is, a Thor toy that is a weapon that I won't get into, I guess, nearly.
Doesn't he have the axe? I think I've heard.
It's a form of an axe.
Okay, I thought he had like his Ultimate's axe, the one with the weird hammer.
He does not.
Oh, okay.
He does not. He has like a DIY axe. I was hoping he'd have Jarnbjorn or whatever.
I originally thought it was going to be that or the Ultimates one, the one with the flat hammer and the big axe on the end.
Oh, that'd be nice. Well,
but I think Jarnbjorn
Beta
would be
Rebuild.
cool.
That's right.
No, that's a different one.
That's a different one.
No, yeah.
Jarnbjorn's after he loses his hammer.
Yeah, you're right.
Jarnbjorn, whatever, is also before he loses the hammer. He's young Thor. Like before he gets the hammer.
Oh, yeah.
I think there was a comic series of like young him, Loki, and Sif, and he has the axe then. And because he loses it in the past is why the Apocalypse Twins get it in X-Men.
Yeah.
And I don't read comics.
That's old comics, bro.
I haven't read comics since way before that.
Well,
not active comics.
You know. But
I did pick up some old comics though at Tate's tent sale.
Oh yeah,
spent like $30 on comics.
Yeah, what old comics?
Like old Teen Titans and Batmans and
how many?
I don't know, about like 7 or 8 comics.
I wanted to pick up the new Batman issue of the wedding, but I never got around to it. I probably won't be able to.
I was going to also, and I'm like, I didn't.
The one with which one? The one that they're on the front.
I don't know what it looks like.
Oh, okay.
I just knew the issue number, and
if it's the newest issue is the one where they're kissing and they're hugging. The issues before that is 2 different covers. It's Batman and her looking in the mirrors at each other, like trying to like dress and stuff, and they were really cool covers.
No, I have the second run print of the proposal.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. I wanted to pick that up because I heard about it, and then I was just like, oh shit, I forgot to get it, just so I could have it.
That's why I bought it. But no, here I bought like Teen Titans, some old Batman. I got like I had a list that apparently is like not updated at all. of comics I want to buy, and most of them are like really elusive ones, like first appearance of Ra's al Ghul or Hard Traveling Heroes, Green Lantern, Green Arrow stuff.
Oh, the one in the car where they're going around the United States?
Yeah.
That's the one where he's like, I'm on drugs. Like he's all like, I'm fucking coked up.
Because some of it is
and it's the whole story about him not doing drugs.
It's what? No. It's not him. It's Speedy on heroin.
Oh, it's Speedy. I thought it was fucking Hal was on the drugs or something like that.
No, it's the one where like, my God, my ward Speedy is on the junk, on the smack. But I found some old ones there that what's his face is the illustrator on them. God damn it. Dude who's always at SuperCon. He's really expensive.
There's a lot.
Oh yeah, for real.
No, he did the Batman, the gray and blue suit.
I don't know much about the DC artists.
He's blanking on his name right now.
He's jumped back. I mean, they all jump back and forth, but a lot of DC.
I think I got some Alan Moore Swamp Things.
Nice.
And there was one book that I got that was like $40, and so it was half off, so it was $20, and that was the majority of my purchase. And then everything else was like $3 to $5 before the discount. So I ended up spending like $30.
That's not a bad deal.
No.
I always try to hit up.
It's the only time I ever buy
under 10 sales. Yeah, at least old ones is the only time.
The thing is, you have to get there either right when the doors open or right before the doors open, or before the doors open, because the lineup gets somewhat heavy. I got there like midday, and all of the comics in like the display cases were gone.
Wow!
Like the only thing left was like newer books and like some like old books that no one really.
Did they have the labels of what was in the display cases?
Yeah.
What caught your eye?
No, the labels weren't there. They're just on the books.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what would be in there.
No, I mean they put all of their good shit in there, or all of the good shit is like on the front, like as soon as you walk in. Like I've seen the Giant Size X-Men in there before for like $900.
Oh, okay.
And apparently somebody bought it not on the 10 sale. They just bought it one day. $900.
That's a cool comic though.
Yeah, for sure.
If I had $900 to just drop, I'd buy it. That's a really cool. It'd be like, hey,
Yeah, but who has $900 just dropped?
If I had a cool job, then
yeah.
That's like
apparently the guy who dropped the 900.
That'd be those things that I used to talk to Corca Ridge, the guy with the cane, and he collects massive comics and he like hunts down the super expensive ones. Like he showed me the first issue of Spider-Man, the fucking
Amazing Fantasy 15.
Yeah, the one with him on the thing. Yeah. And I was like, this is fucking 25, like 1500. It's like stupid, and he had it, and I he's like, you can pull it out, and I pull it, and I was like, this is crazy. I would never like read it.
As a kid. Oh, go ahead.
And he had like the Fantastic Four one, and he's like, I'm still hunting on Spider-Man 2 and all this stuff like that. But he like got it. He's like, I got it on an auction, and he's like, this is something you're gonna appreciate. And he pulled out the huge bag. I was like, this is nuts. And then he opened it, and he's like, here. And I was like, wow. I mean, I didn't sit down and read it, but I was like, this is something I never thought I would just like hold. Here's Spider-Man 1. Yeah.
For me, I had a moment like that as a kid. So just a quick backstory. There was a comic shop like a block and a half from where I lived when I was growing up. And, I would hang out there because I like comics, but I wasn't really, I would talk with the dudes that were there, and basically it was run by this lady, her husband, and then his son and his son's friend, who were like in their early 20s, would hang out there, right? And I would just go because I'm like, cards and all this other stuff, like Marvel Series 3 is amazing. And then, comics, and that lady was super nice. And she's still like super nice lady. I ran into her a few years ago, and they would just let me hang out there, right? And that's where I started playing like Magic, and those dudes would like give me Magic cards. I remember when Kingdom Come #1 dropped, I think 94. They sent someone with a message written on a little card, like a business card, to my house saying like, hey, we got the issues in if you want to come pick them up. And I hauled ass over there, and I made sure to buy one, and then subsequently about the rest of them. So there they had their younger son. He had Incredible Hulk 181, first Wolverine. And as a kid, he showed it to me, and he was just like, you read it if you want. And I was like, oh my God, it's so cool, so cool, so cool. Flip. It's a shitty story. And it's the one where he just kind of pops out at the end with the old suit and whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But
the only time he's in it,
yeah. But I had that, and he had a couple of other like more rare ones. And I, was geeking out as a child. As an adult, I haven't run into anybody else. Yes, I was like, look at this pristine comic.
That was it. It was when I was collecting comics last year. The year before, because it was before I went to do my master's, when I stopped doing all the comics because I didn't have time for it. He was like, here, check this out. And I was like, what the fuck?
And that was the time to start.
I canceled it, but there's stuff that I want to pick up. Like, I'd like to go back and keep grabbing Spider-Man because now there's a whole Spider-Man thing that I'd like to read.
That was the time to start collecting them, was in that time, because now is when it's paying off, because I feel like there's a great demand for them now.
I had a chance to buy all of the 92, the Jim Lee run of X-Men, but I didn't.
They're not worth that much, funnily enough.
It was like 200. It was $200 for the whole run.
Yeah, but that's a whole run.
That's the issue.
But that was.
And that comic continues. I don't think it's ever stopped.
It was issue 1, and it was both. He had both covers.
There's
too.
5 covers to that book.
Was there? I know 1 and 2 are the cover, and then I think probably 3, 4, and 5 all link up to it as well.
Well,
one is Magneto.
It had gatefolds.
Yes.
So there was the X-Men Gold Team one, which is the one I had as a kid. There's a Magneto one with, I think, a slightly different back. There's one that has like the optic blast back.
Yeah, where he's hitting a Magneto.
And I think there's a cover that has Wolverine and Cyclops on the front, and then it gatefolds out Magneto and the Gold.
That's the one I remember. The one with Cyclops
so
shooting.
Maybe there's only 3 covers.
He's Cyclops shooting the blast, and it's Magneto in his dome, and Wolverine's next to him. Yeah, but he had the whole run. It was my brother's friend's father. He's selling off his whole thing. He's like, I wanted you to see it first because I know you like comics. Because at the time when my money was kind of tight, and I was like, oh man, I can buy all the whole Jim Lee run just because it's cool. And that's the X-Men that I remember because I grew up with it. I was like, the whole Shi'ar Empire run and everything like that.
No, that's Uncanny, I think.
That was part of that. I think that was Uncanny X-Men. Wasn't the Jim Lee run Uncanny?
No, that was X-Men #1. Like his spin-off book was X-Men #1 that had those covers.
And then
Uncanny was a separate book.
Separate? Okay.
Because the Uncanny was like in the 200s, I think, when X-Men
that's right.
came out in like 92.
It was like issue 1 through whatever. I forgot how far. He had other ones, but that was the biggest one that stood out. I was like, I dropped 200 just to have that. Just to have it. To be like, look, I love the Jim Lee runs.
Yeah. I've tried to collect a bunch of like Uncanny X-Men from way back when. Like a lot of I really have to catalog my comics correctly. I have a lot of the Mutant Massacre in Uncanny, but I need like the Thor issue because it's just random. I have the one with Wolverine and the torn up mask that has all the heroes around the border.
That one.
I have the one of him and Sabretooth fighting. That's, I think, the subsequent issue.
I had a lot of cool ones when I was.
That's what I try to buy at Tate's.
I had a lot of when I was younger. I had the fucking all the deaths of Superman, and I lost those. I had the Cyclops Jean Grey wedding. Lost. I ripped that apart as a kid. Like not ripped it, but like in my closet under my other stacks of comics, where I didn't think about like let me collect stuff. You know, it's just like, hey man,
you read this?
Let me read this. And I read the death. Everyone bought the Death and Return of Superman, so I bought all those. Like my parents bought that. And I have the black bag one.
You never did? I never bought it.
I have the black bag one. I didn't buy it. My dad bought it because it's like one of those things. It's like, just fucking Superman's dead. When we all thought he wouldn't come back, it's like,
Yeah, I'll tell you this. One of the
I have Banner's death comic, which hopefully that should equal to something at some point.
One of the more traumatic moments when I was a kid was, I remember I had to go to my communion classes at church. Right? When that was a thing that my parents forced me to do.
Yeah, man, Sunday school, bro.
No, it wasn't Sunday. It was like weekdays.
Oh, yeah, I did that. It's called The Rock for me. It was like, I think it was Mondays. It was like 7 to 8 for me.
To me, it was just like...
As in...
Like
it's called like, I don't know, it was like religious something. It's an acronym.
Okay. No, because there's a church right here called The Rock.
Oh, no. It was at my church, St. Louis, but it was the regular fucking Wednesday or Monday, whatever you do it for communion, and then the final thing.
So,
whatever it is when you're a teenager, whatever that fucking thing is.
We went... well, there's
second baptism,
communion, confirmation.
Yeah, it's whatever. You're the teen and you're doing it. Yeah.
So we went. I went. I come back home, right? And that X-Men comic in particular, I would just read it constantly and just reread it. And I remember coming home, and it was on my desk, and I sat and I grabbed it. And then the cover was in my hand, and the rest of the book was still on the desk.
That's what happened to my Jean Grey Cyclops one.
And it wasn't because of like putting things on top of whatever. It was that my brother, my loving brother, was fucking with it, and it just like
it separated,
and then just kind of put it back. And he was a child, mind you, but still, like, what the fuck?
I know.
I was like, this is why you can't have nice things.
That's what happened. Yeah, the wedding one, I have no idea if the wedding one's worth anything. It probably isn't, but it's like the cover came apart from the staples. It's just whoop, and that's gone.
Yeah.
I had like that. The only one I still have from the old times that I kept nice is Spawn number... Fuck, I forgot the issue. It's Angela's first appearance ever. And it's still in its... I mean, the plastic baggie's all fucked up now, but it's still nice.
There are 5 covers. I had this one. Then there's this one.
That's that one, and then that one. The next one are the ones I usually remember. And then the Magneto.
Then there's Magneto, and then there's the one that pulls out completely. And I have this one, too.
These two are the ones I remember, the Wolverine, Cyclops, and Magneto. Because usually that's always what you see, just them like zapping.
Yeah, the one I've seen the most is the Magneto one.
No, I had
That's
the
a classic
Beast
shot.
Gold Team one. Yeah, fucking Jim Lee, so good. I miss those days.
I mean, who knows? Maybe a bunch of the comics that I have now will slowly. I gotta wait years and years and years. But
I'm sure I have comics that are worth something, not a lot of something.
I know I have some that were really hard to get. Like I have, like not like it's gonna matter. I know people said it's gonna be probably at some point in time. It's the new Horseman of the Apocalypse with Colossus has it, and that shit sold out in like seconds because of Colossus being a horseman. I have that. I have a bunch of the fucking Hulk Death one. I have like 3 variants of that. I have the actual sketch cover. I still have one in the bag, and then I have the regular one that I read. So who knows if Hulk's death means?
I have a lot of like Michael Turner stuff that like what his
I have
on Fantastic Four, and I think
you have those? I have Michael Turner's Fathom like 0 through 10 before he like obviously passed,
and then his sketch cover of like Teen Titans #1.
Oh.
It was like 4th print that was hardest to find because it was a sketch cover.
That's right.
Yeah, those are the comics I'm hoping one day. It's like I have a Jim Lee sketch cover, Batman 712 or something. It's the during Hush that Superman just like holding him down.
Oh yeah.
I remember I bought that for like $10, and it was like if you graded it at that moment, it was worth like 75. If you got like anywhere between like a 9.5 and a 10, but 10 is
I think grading is really cool, but grading sucks. Well, the expensive is whatever because you have this thing that's going to be worth something.
I know, but you have to send it out. And
you have to send it, but the thing is, then you'll never get to read it again if you actually care for something like that.
One to rock, one to stock.
I know, but sometimes I can't like buy that one to rock because this is the only one.
That's how I feel about the Supreme luggage that's coming out tomorrow. One to rock, one to stock.
Fuck that, no, that's dumb.
Well, one to rock, one to sell.
And then those, like, I like him in the thing, but hey, man, it'd be cool to have like, I have Spider-Man #1, and there he is, like in the fucking frame on the wall. You can't read him now. He's fucking air vacuum sealed.
He's sealed forever.
Sealed forever. But that's what you want. Like the people that have Superman #1, you don't want to fucking.
Oh yeah, of course.
Seal that shit.
Dude, if Jesus,
no, I hit it back.
If I had a time machine, I would take about 50 cents in dimes and go back to 19.
You just need like a penny or something or a nickel to buy Superman.
I think it's 10 cents.
Is it 10? Yeah, just buy that Superman #1.
But I want like 5.
5 copies?
Yeah, 1 to rock, 1 to stock.
No, 4 to sell, 1 to keep.
No, man, 1 to rock.
Imagine that shit. You go.
No, because I want to have one that I can just be like, whatever, it is my copy. And then one that's
it's like in your
pristine.
It's in your fucking box. Like, what the fuck, Superman?
You'll buy 5. But imagine that shit. You go back then, you buy 5 copies, you come back, and then you have your 1 to rock. You have one
that's sealed on the thing
to stock, but you got to send that out. So imagine once they receive it to fucking grade it, they're looking at it and they're like, "This shit looks like it got printed yesterday."
That doesn't matter.
That's not my fault.
There are people that they get.
Is this real?
Or I'll just go to the
whenever you get that fucking S plus.
I got a time machine, bro. I'll go to when CGC was new. I mean, like, hey man, it's a family heirloom. They took real good care of this. There's not even yellowing on these pages. Now all the pages were yellow. But I need you to grade this for me.
Yeah, man. Fuck getting that sports almanac. I'd be like, what is every year that all these super issues came out? All right, first appearance of Punisher, first appearance of Superman.
It's millions of dollars.
First appearance of Wonder Woman.
Yeah, 10
Cap fighting Skull. I mean Hitler. Muhammad Ali Superman issue. I mean all the
oversized book.
Yeah. All these crazy ones. First appearance of fucking Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and I'd buy like 5 of each.
That's the dumb shit that I truly would do.
Because if I could do that, I mean, yeah, betting on sports things is cool.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
But I can get 5 of each because I can sell off one of those, keep 2, and then, well, actually keep 2. One for myself, 1 to grade. And then the other one, the 3 I just fucking sell off. And that's already God knows how much money.
You sell one
How much does Superman issue 1 go for? I think it's like 25, something ridiculously high.
A couple million at least.
I mean,
no, they had it on that stupid Pawn Stars thing.
I remember Chavo from System of a Down bought it, let's say 10 years ago for $1 million.
Oh my God. You had 3 of those? It's $3 million. That's it. And you just keep going back in time. Let me just buy about 10 of these. And sell them under different names.
According to Google, right? USA Today... In 2014, $3.2 million.
Oh my God. 5 issues.
A pristine copy.
Oh, it's gonna be pristine, bro. Yeah. I just left that fucking Rick's paper store.
Sure. No, you had to go to a pharmacy back then.
Yeah, I'd look like a
Or a
weirdo.
newsstand.
I'd be like that weird Marty McFly character. Like, what the fuck is this guy wearing? I got jeans. Yeah, it's the latest fashion in France.
Is that a life preserver?
The latest fashion in France, bro. I got just sneakers, all this shit. Everyone's wearing suits and stuff, and I got a graphic tee with a picture on it. Wow.
No, you really want to up it. Is that you get the comic and then get it signed, and you'll be the only signed issue.
Yeah, no, but you have no
Action
certificate of
Comics number
authenticity.
one.
Yeah, that's not proof.
No certificate of authenticity. And if you're like, look at my cell phone with fucking, they're gonna be like,
How'd you do that? Doesn't matter, bro.
linking to our conspiracy theories. It's like these pictures of old timey people with cell phones. I hate those. So dumb.
That was that fight. I think it was the Mike Tyson fight or
fun to
something.
watch.
It was the Tyson fight. And
The
there's guy with the cell
Tyson,
phone.
yeah, and he has a cell phone.
By the
Yeah,
way-
you can't prove that. You can sign it for yourself and just have a issue just signed and just have it in your house and be like, I met them.
This $3.2 million one was a 9 out of 10 graded. That was graded 9 out of 10 by CGC.
Where the hell was that like sitting in like a safety deposit box or something?
Probably.
Probably. Because it's
says-
stuff like that you wouldn't think about holding. Like, I'm going to keep this forever. It's Superman issue fucking 1. Like, why would I keep that as a kid?
Neil Adams was who I was thinking about earlier. But
Oh, wow. Oh, I like
Some kids are weird.
I love Neil
There's a whole
Adams.
thing with baseball cards. Like most kids put them on the spokes of their bikes, but some kids just always
sealed
kept
in
it
that hard plastic shell.
They sealed them.
I
and
always-
they put it in their shoebox and you just kept it under the bag.
I told my friend many times I wish I could go back to myself when I was younger and be like, hey, keep all those NES boxes and the instruction manuals
oh
and
my
stuff.
god, same.
Because my parents bought me a case, like a traveling case for NES that was made by Nintendo. and it looked like
I
it was like a
remember
click
that.
thing, and I have all my games in there.
Oh
piece of shit.
man, I remember.
And I never
that.
kept those boxes and none of those instruction manuals, and I go back in time and tell myself not to lose these games. Don't lend your friend that fucking copy of the Xenoblade or whatever, all this fucking shit, and just keep it, man. Your friend's never going to give this back to you.
Smash. What is it?
It was Xenogears.
Marvel's Capcom as
the
well.
PS2 one is super expensive.
Yes, super hard to get.
Yeah, he just sell at GameStop like $90, bro. I don't know why. It's not even like the good one. It was the only one I think in America that was released. That's why. There was never a Marvel's Capcom 2. I think the Dreamcast one came out way later or something like that.
Marvel's Capcom 2?
Yeah.
There wasn't a one in America.
It's the PS2 one. There was one later on Dreamcast, but
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
PS2 one, that's why it was so expensive.
No,
they
the
only
hard-
printed like 1,000 or something stupid.
Well, the harder ones are Marvel's and SNK. Those are like, good luck.
oh,
I
those
just already
are
had both 1 and 2.
those are on Dreamcast, the SNK versus Capcom games and stuff. Yeah, I mean,
No, but I
had
thought they
those.
were on PlayStation also.
No, those never came out.
Are you sure? Because this person didn't have a Dreamcast.
He-
Let's say Dreamcatcher.
Yeah, he didn't have a Dreamcatcher. Yeah, they never came out on PlayStation.
Oh,
Maybe the first one
soon
did.
find out, sir.
Maybe the first one. I don't think the second.
Or
one.
SNK versus Capcom.
Oh, the second one did. Second one did. SNK vs. Capcom never came out on PS2.
The game in the series either contain SNK versus Capcom or Capcom versus SNK, the first company, blah, 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 blah.
Capcom
Games in the
versus
series
SNK
appear
is-
for various platforms, including the Naomi Arcade, Neo Geo, PlayStation, PlayStation 2, Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo DS,
The-
Xbox, Neo Geo Pocket, etc., etc.
The Capcom vs. SNK is the one that you probably know about. The SNK vs. Capcom is the one that was in the arcade only. That was the one done by SNK where it had like more.
I mean, maybe.
There was a different one. It looked like King of Fighters kind of style. The Capcom vs. SNK one was the one that everyone played in the fucking arcades and stuff. That's what I
No, SNK versus Capcom SVC Chaos.
Yes, that's the one. That
Released for
was,
the Neo Geo
Yeah.
and ported to PlayStation 2 and Xbox.
that was on PS2 and Xbox.
Yeah, man.
Was it?
I don't remember that on PS2. I mean, I had to see the case.
I mean, look, I'm reading Wikipedia. It's never wrong, so.
Hey,
Oh.
I edited that.
But it's not sourceable though. So someone at work got in an argument with somebody else because they started talking about whatever topic, and someone brought up Wikipedia and then started like spitting that Wikipedia, and she's like, "That's not reliable." And he goes, "If they don't let you cite Wikipedia,
They do let
like
you
then,
cite
and
Wikipedia.
then research papers,
Not research paper.
From
Oh,
what
no,
I-
not research papers.
Yeah, and he goes, if they don't let you cite Wikipedia for research papers, then I'm not accepting your fucking answer.
yeah, but I mean, if Wikipedia cites something on it, you can just go to that source.
Exactly, they source it. But no, but it was a stupid argument. It was just one of those-
Because anyone can edit that shit. So
It was like one of these like politically charged arguments at work, and yeah, man, she spat back. The girl spat back at this dude. And
Clap back at him.
Yeah, and then I told them, and he goes, you can find where Wikipedia sources their stuff and just go to that source.
did he like
my
sounded
God.
like he was spouting off Wikipedia knowledge?
No, he just got pissed, and he was like, "Well, fuck this bitch,"
The amount of
because she didn't have anything to say, so I'm not accepting this shit.
eBay listings for Nintendo dust covers is hilarious that I just stumbled across. Like lots.
Oh
50,
yeah,
10.
man. I have a million. I used to have a million of those things. But it's a shame. I would go back in time and do that. Yeah, buy comics.
So you had video game organizer.
No. It looked like a fucking. I can't tell you. It was black. It looked like faux leather, and it was like a thing. I had like a little like silver latch. I go cook, and it would open up. It was like a weird carrying case thing, and inside of it, it held a bunch of games. There's like I can't tell you what it's called, but it had the Nintendo logo on it.
No, I remember.
No,
I wanted it.
like that.
I saw a commercial for that shit.
No, it looks like a weird like something. It has like a handle like that, but it's long wise.
What's over this thing?
No. Oh, yeah. Yes, but
Okay, that's mad generic though. The listing is over. 18 game cartridge, original black wooden holder.
no, it's not wood.
Vintage original Nintendo NES carrying travel case.
Is there a picture
Bag
for
holds
it?
15 games.
It's something like this, but it's not that small. But it has like a latch like that. It
Does
says
it have a
Nintendo.
Nintendo placard?
Yeah, it's not
This
like
might be the real one though.
it's not it though. Mine was longer. Like it was.
I mean, you just look like this.
yes, that's exactly that one. It's that
$20.
Yeah, that's it, buddy.
This just looks like a shitty toolbox.
It does, but it held Nintendo games.
It was $20 when it came out.
No, it's selling for $20.
No, yeah, eBay it for $20.
You want that? I got that in my storage.
Garage?
No, a bunch of the old stuff is put away. Yeah, I have that with like some other NES games that I couldn't sell off to GameStop. Like all the really whatever, the janky ones that I had that all the Nintendo nerd made fun of.
I'm still looking for like,
like pretty much all of them.
I'm still looking for Bucky O'Hare.
You'll never find that. The thing's hyper expensive.
I know. I mean, I found it for hyper expensive.
Yeah.
I just want to get it as a gift for Nicole one day. And since I know she'll never listen to this.
Was it like a couple $100 or something like that, I think?
No, it was like 150.
I mean, one of these not bad. Is that with the box or no?
I don't recall.
That doesn't sound like it's with the box.
Let me see.
Usually, like I can buy like a copy of so-and-so.
She had a copy and then she doesn't know what happened to it. So it, it's like, it's a prized memory for her. So it's like, yeah, 109, no box.
No box, huh? That means it's going to be over like 200 something like that with a box.
This was 86 and it has the box and the sleeve. Well, watch this.
I never kept the box or anything.
Really? I loved keeping the boxes. I just don't know what happened to them.
Like even the jewel cases for like the OG PlayStation, like
Oh, you're
break.
I have
all
all the OG big jewel cases. The huge ones when PS1 first came out before they went to small jewel cases.
No, just small ones.
Oh, you don't know what I'm talking about then.
Oh,
right?
yeah, the big like...
They're like this big.
Oh,
They
okay,
go
yeah.
boom. Like I have Doom. I have Tekken 1 like that. I have all the stupid ones like that.
God, that reminded me of like old DVD cases with like the little little black plastic.
Okay,
piece.
no.
the
I
all
hate-
cardboard ones. I hate those.
I hate those. There was
Matrix 1 I have like that and it pisses me off to no end.
There were 3 different DVD cases. There was the regular open. There was that weird one with the cardboard cover that you click and it
Yeah,
flips.
that's the one I'm talking about.
And then there's the other one with the snap, and then you open
Yes.
that. I was like, who the fuck makes these 2 other ones? Just make a regular DVD case.
Yeah, right.
What company?
well, this was before that was the standard.
The streamlining. yeah.
But there was 3 different ones. It was like,
No, yeah, the one with the security clips is stupid.
I was like, what? Fuck you, buddy.
It just makes me want to break them, but then I don't want to break them because then it's broken.
Because then,
I know
yeah, and then it looks weird. It's like, what were these on here for?
Yeah.
I have a few of those weird cardboard cover ones.
Yeah, I have Money Talks, Matrix, a few other ones I can't
I think
remember.
my
right
Matrix
now.
was a regular DVD case. Oh, no, did I ever
It
buy
never
Matrix?
came in regular DVD case.
No, then I had to burn
Unless it was a collection or Blu-ray.
I never bought Matrix 1 because we had it on VHS tape, and I have it burned on a CDR, and then I bought Matrix
CDR.
on Blu-ray when it came in like its anniversary, and it was a book. It was like
Ultimate Wachowski pack.
yeah, and it looked like a book. Like you'd read it, and in the back was the Blu-ray. And it's funny when I was reading that, like in there, they talked about that movie that they were working on, Ninja Assassin, or whatever the ninja movie that they made. Did you ever see that later?
No.
I think it's called Ninja Assassin or some shit like that. And in it, like it's like the directors, and then it says like film Ninja Assassin this year, and I was like, Ninja Assassin? I've never seen this movie. Like, when did this come? And it's like it hadn't come out yet. They were just talking about it.
Cartridge 285, son.
Yeah, figures much, bro. With everything, right?
Damn. No box. It's just a manual. Just game and manual.
Look at what's the sold. Like who? I just want to see. Yeah.
That's where I was going next.
But whatever. I would go back in time and tell myself like, don't. And I gave away my copy of Battletoads and all this stuff. Like, keep all your cases, keep all this stuff.
My Nintendo story is doors. When we moved from where I grew up living, there was a transition period where we lived at my grandmother's house for a few months while they were finishing the house we live in now. And you know, we had too much stuff. And effectively, since I had newer systems, I don't know if it was my parents asked me or they just made the unilateral decision to give it to my uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, he went to prison and did all this other shit. And I don't know what happened to the rest of those Nintendo games. Right. So I have the console. I have a controller. I destroyed my Zapper a long time ago, but who cares? There's a dime a dozen at this point.
I got 2 Zappers.
And I had the gray, not the orange.
I have the gray one.
I never like the orange. And the only game that I've been able to salvage from that is Jeopardy. Which we had because my dad, that's the only game my dad ever played.
I sold off a good chunk of my NES games at GameStop when they first started taking those. I was like, hey man, good cash. Like, it's not good cash, but it's like, whatever, I don't care. I'll take $35 right now for a lot of these games. But
Famicom Bucky O'Hare. Nice.
I
want an old Famicom.
I remember I gave away Battletoads to the family down the road because with the case, because I said this game is way too hard for me as a kid. I can't beat it. Here's an NES game for your kid. And that was it. And I remember and I was like, oh, I gave it away. Whatever. It's not like it's worth millions of dollars, but I remember that legit. I gave that one away. I still have the trackpad. The thing you run.
I never had that.
I have that. I have the big. It's like I said, I have a lot of the stuff from Angry Video Game Nerd. He made
that for the Olympics one?
Yeah,
Video Game
track and field. Yeah.
Nice.
I have it's this one a skateboarding thing. It's a giant ball that's a flat. There's like it's half a circle, half a sphere, and on top of it's like a flat pad, and you do like skate or die on it. And I have that. I also had the crazy turbo controller, which instead of a thumb pad, it has like a weird disc you put your thumb in, you can like slide it everywhere. What? Yeah, it's fucking weird. It's NES is like Turbo Max, and that's what it's called. I used to have all the Nintendo powers. Those got trashed.
I had a bunch of them.
I had them from issue 1.
Do you have a Power Glove?
Yes, I had a Power Glove. Because my NES controller, my Player 1, has the sticker from issue number 1 of the Nintendo Power that covers it.
Nice.
Yeah, and those gone long ago. That's when we moved multiple times.
Yeah.
And as a kid, my parents were like, "Throw that shit out! Like, why would I keep
exactly? It's just a magazine."
Yeah, it is.
I still have a Nintendo Power 2 somewhere. I think I only had like one. I did a Sega SWAT magazine.
I know SWAT. My friend had SWAT. And I used to read that. And then I got the Dreamcast magazine later when Dreamcast was out.
No, I never had that. I had a lot of SWAT magazines. I threw away a bunch. SWAT Pro, actually. I threw away a bunch of them recently, but I kept a whole bunch.
I have a million Game Pros that I just recently threw out too when you're cleaning out a garage.
Yep. I still had some. Salud.
Thank you.
I had some Game Pros when I moved out of my grandma's house. I had a good stack of
Game Pros and EGMs. That's what I have. Yeah.
No, I never got EGMs.
Game Pros, because my buddy would get Game Pros and I'd read them in class because he'd get a monthly. I was like, oh yeah, 5 screaming faces.
Yeah, I never had a subscription. It was one of those that. Like you go to Publix
and you read it there. Yeah. No, my buddy had it. And he brought it to school.
I want this.
I had that as a kid with Disney Adventures.
My mom subscribed me to Disney Adventures.
I constantly like bug my mom to like we're in the checkout line at the grocery store. Be like, yo, let me get that Adventures. Let me get this Baloo.
Yeah, Disney Adventures. My mom subscribed to that because I was like, I love these things.
They're good. They're good books.
But yeah, I wish I could go back in time and tell myself that. And a lot of the Sega Saturn games, when I bought Sega Saturn to keep, I lost a lot of their cool cardboard boxes. I'm like a fucking in. That was me in early college and stuff, and I let my friend borrow it. Those things disappeared.
I only knew one person with a Sega Saturn.
I bought that later because it could be awesome for modding, and I have 2. I have the white Japanese one, and I have the American one. Bought the American one for like 50. The Japanese one, I got it for like later on for 100.
That's what Tekken came out, right? The first Tekken?
No, Tekken was on PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
PlayStation 1. Virtual Fighters, Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
But yeah, I'd like to keep all that. And then last year, we threw out all our old PC games, and like me and my dad had a whole like talk about it. Not like, Dad, don't do this. Me and him, I was like, man, this is like old PC games. He's like, I know, I don't want to throw these out, but we have no space, and this is it. I'm like, and like, and when I'm talking about old PC games, I have when computer games used to be like the boxes the size of records, and they were huge, and you open them up and have millions of things in it. Yeah,
I remember them being like 8.5 by 11 sized boxes almost.
No, some of the old ones were like fucking like the size of this thing, like
the floppy
slide the thing. Yeah,
the big floppies.
I had no, the original floppy ones were record cases. The old ones where you'd have to clap the list. I have Gauntlet and like maybe Who Framed Roger Rabbit and some other ones. They were like a record thing you'd open, and the floppy disk was inside it, and you'd slide it out.
Yeah. It had a little latch. It was on their floppy, but it was a big. It's a big deal.
Well, but I mean, I'm talking about the box for it. It was like a record box.
Yeah,
you'd open
it. Thick. You know who had a bunch of my stepmom? Her dad was like, he's the one. He had a bunch of comics. He had like a box full of comics. That's how I got a lot of my 1960 Star Wars ones.
Yeah.
And she has a bunch of them there that I don't know why she just didn't give it to me, because I would have bagged them, bored them, made them look all pretty. But she still has them there. Next time I go to North Carolina, I'm gonna try and convince her and be like, hey man, hook me up with those old comics.
Just tell they're worth nothing, man.
Get them right.
A lot of old comics are
No,
worth
she's
nothing.
not dumb. She knows that some of them are worth something.
Find out, because
The problem is that they're not bag and board, and they're just sitting in a box, and it kind of hurts my soul.
I get you.
But like her dad, I remember when they still lived in like the Miami Lakes area, he had a box with just a bunch of those old games, and a lot of them were Star Wars. He liked to play Star Wars and like those space fighting games.
Okay. So they were those things before the big record cases. They were bags you'd go to the PC store, and I forgot when I was a kid, my dad would go, and people that made computer games and stuff, you'd get like the old Ultimas and stuff, and they were pinned on pinboards, and you'd get them in Ziplocs with instructions and stuff. After the big record case, they were ginormous, like fucking fuck off size boxes, the size of your like laptop that you'd have to slide open. You know, they had it looks like a board game, that whole air.
Yep.
And those are those. And we threw all those out. And it really sucks because I hate watching those people that have like, hi, I'm this guy doing this review on this video game. And you see his background, like, oh, I had that PC game. I had that. No, I'm just going to close this. I feel really sad because I don't have any more of these anymore. So, yeah.
I brought up the thing, but I need to see the boxes.
Just, I guess look up Gauntlet PC like 1991 or 92, something like that. It has to be like 1989, and you'll probably see the huge fucking record case. You'll see something like what I'm talking about. Gauntlet PC case. It's got to be the old original one, like DOS. Hey man, I know all my DOS commands still. Oh no, you're gonna get like all the fucking KOTOR and shit. The oldest Star Wars games I remember would be like fucking TIE Fighter and X-Wing. Those were like CDs and stuff and everything. But yeah, I'd go back in time and tell myself to buy a bunch of comics.
93. I think he had this one, Rebel Assault.
Rebel Assault that's legit DVDs and stuff.
It was 93.
Yeah,
No, Rebel Assault 93. 93 is still floppies. No CD there.
No, Rebel Assault is a CD-ROM. That used like fucking video footage. Yeah. Rebel Assault was like the first one that you'd fly in the fucking thing. It was all like weird. It was the start of FMVs.
I think he had Rebel Assault, but he had way older ones that came in the big ones.
Yeah, Rebel Assault was still in a big box though. Those were big box games. They were still CDs. They weren't DVDs because there wasn't CDs then.
I remember. No,
I love Rebel Assault because there's Rebel Assault 1 and 2. But yeah. I'd like to go back in time and buy all these things. Yeah,
for real. Do you remember when Independence Day was coming out? Was it I believe
the toys
Burger King?
Is it the toys that had the floppies on them?
Yeah,
it was just the toys. The toy brand had them.
They had floppy disks.
Was it a toy brand? I thought it was a fast food restaurant. That'll give it to you. Like
they had the blue discs.
Yeah, the blue discs.
No, it was when you bought the action figures. It came with a blue disc.
I only ever got 2 of them. I know there was a few of them. I don't know what the other ones did or what it added up to if you collected all of them. But I remember I found that interesting as hell that, I don't see any toys like actually doing that nowadays. Unless it's like a QR that you can scan or something like that. But I thought that was a pretty good leap, to get it into.
Oh yeah,
you get a toy and then you can put it in this,
It's kind of like early viral marketing.
Computer. Yeah, exactly. And then it'll have like a little graphic thing that you can interact with, probably like Flash based or something.
Well, kind of doubling back to playing Ghostface before we started recording. I remember getting my copy of Wu-Tang Forever and it being an enhanced CD. I was like, what is all this about? Putting it in my thing. And it was just like loading up that really shitty, like jilted thing and then being able to click through the different albums. I'm like, oh, here's Iron Man, here's Tikal, and here's You God's album that never came out. And like that was a whole thing in and of itself that was really interesting that went nowhere.
No, it was only a couple years that they had
a lot of bands did that. I forgot there's some other CDs that I had that had like enhanced discs.
You had to have internet connection. I remember
well, not for that one.
Before that, some of them, I remember I got an enhanced CD and at the time I didn't have internet. Like we just haven't gotten it yet. And I put it in and it tried to connect. Like it opened up the browser.
Here it is, motherfucker.
And it was just, get me super sad as hell.
Oh my God.
All those Tiger games.
This is... I'm just keep talking. I'm trying to show you the fucking...
By the way, have you guys seen Ready Player One yet? Or
no, I haven't seen it. I was out of town. I wanted to see it over the weekend, but I forgot that we were going out of town. So maybe this weekend I might be able to catch it.
Just out of curiosity.
No, yeah, I'll let you know once once I see it.
Sometimes computer CD ripping programs, particularly CD Paranoia and CD Burner XP, have problems ripping some enhanced CDs. That's interesting.
Man,
this
that is
Wikipedia
interesting.
article was like,
It's probably a good what is
deterrent.
what's a good the damn thing. Did you ever do the hack for the PlayStation 1
Yes.
to bypass the is that why you mentioned the CDRs?
No, I use the
You were
CDRs
burning
on
games?
Dreamcast. But and CDRs too on PS1. Your PS1 had to be a special though. They took those out of some of the later ones, even though they were the big fat ones. The early fat ones had a button in the top right that you would put a piece of paper down.
Oh yeah, to hold it and it would spin while
You just had
the
to
cage was open.
swap.
Yeah, and you
You have to read swaps.
you'd put in a regular American game, and when it started booting, you pull it out and put in your fucking Japanese game. Or
That's
whatever.
how I would play my favorite PlayStation 1 era game still, Bust a Groove.
Oh yeah, I had Buster Groove 1 and 2, and that's what
I didn't have 2. I had a copy
Two
of
man
1.
had all the fucking
and
zombie.
then it stopped working, and I got real mad about it. And I wasn't gonna like mod my PlayStation for that shit.
That was the mod. I mean, later on, you really had to do a legit mod, but mine was upside down, and I would reach
Oh
it.
no! I took a piece of paper, circular, wadded
Yeah,
it
on that
up,
little
and
dot.
just stuck it there with a piece of tape, so it was permanently affixed.
Yep.
So I
Mine-
could just have it popped open and just like.
Mine was just super old that I had to do, like some PlayStations sooner or later had to do it. You had to leave the whole tray open and keep it upside down.
I remember going to somebody's house
I would pull it out like that.
that they were playing Resident Evil 2 that way.
It was upside down
It
and
was
on.
upside down and just like that.
That's my PS1 was like that. And it's really funny. I was watching this. Someone's making this emulator for VR, and it's also not for VR, but it like plays everything and it detects what you have. And it's like you're in some house in the 1980s, and he's playing the PS1. He's trying to boot a game, and then he turns it upside down. I'm like, that's my PS1, bro. Turn that shit upside down, and it played. And I was like,
Wow.
I was like, I thought I was the only fucking weirdo that did that shit.
Oh no, I've met a few people. That had
Yeah,
that.
I don't know why it only worked upside down. It just stopped working right side up. But yeah, I used to play Buster Groove 1. I remember when that shit came out, and then I got the second one, and the second one had a lot more characters and like one guy who did fucking robot. Oh, I played that guy.
I still remember that. My favorite song. Well,
Come on,
I liked
Everybody
Heat's.
knows that Heat is the one, man. Everybody knows that Heat is the one.
I love that. I also loved Kitty Ends, just Bust a Groove.
Kitty Ants is cool.
Also Gasso.
Gasso's cool, and Gasso's
like
dad's in
chemical
the second
something.
one, I think, and he's the zombie, and he does fucking rope pop and lock and shit, and it's cool as fuck.
Hilarious.
Kitty End's really cooler.
Strike.
Kitty End is cooler in the second one. And then I think Panda was in the first one, right? That was the boss, that weird, like, that ballet dancing thing.
Was it?
The final boss of the first one is some weird, like, alien thing that was like, it was called like Panda Z or whatever, and it was this person that did.
It wasn't Panda Z. It was something else.
But they were like, the music was fucking weird.
Because
and
I
it was,
remember the
like,
like sub boss was Capoeira.
it was the two aliens.
Right.
Yeah.
There's this video I saw not too long ago that it kind of breaks down technology and like it broke down the VCR and like older technology, see how it works and what's interesting about it. So it they did a video on the PS1, and then once they started implementing the whole so people don't steal stuff. What's it called? The
DRM.
DRM.
Well, that's
Digital
PC
rights
stuff.
management.
Yeah.
Well, it's also built into console games.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
That was the big selling point of the PS4, and then the Xbone after the fact.
Well, the PS1 has an interesting system in it, to prevent you from burning games and then playing them.
Which PS1?
The regular PS1 and first
All of
came
them,
out.
I assume, all of them stopped.
Well, no, because there was the PlayStation.
Yeah,
Then
PlayStation.
eventually the PS1 was the tiny one.
No, the PlayStation.
Okay.
Because PlayStation you can actually burn games and
Yeah,
play it on
I
there.
know, I had a bunch
but
of them.
You
you
just
first
had
had to
juke
you
it.
have to switch it, and the reason you had to switch it is because
Certain parts of
it had a wobble that the laser would detect off the original game, and that was the DRM.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? I thought it was just
in
like
the coding.
I
No,
thought
it wasn't. It was a wobble.
as a young thing, I thought I had to swap it out because it was like spinning, and then this was on the load screen, like fooled you, bitch. Like you put it in so fast that it's like, oh yeah, shit.
What's
No,
interesting?
like I would hear the spindle.
You'd hear
not
go,
the first one, not the, but the second.
It's after the PS logo on the white, and once it blanks out.
Oh, I never did it
Yeah.
based off.
Oh, I did it, and you pull it right out, and you pop it in.
I always
right
did
out.
it based
Yeah.
off sound.
and that's how you're able
I
to
did
do it.
Once that logo went away, it
Because
goes.
it only checked in the beginning and that's it. And after that, it's just a standard CDR, and then no problem. Even the PS2 is a standard CDR.
Well, the PS2, when I hacked mine, what you had to do, I had
You
to pull.
modded yours?
Yeah. You have to. I did this two ways. The first way was you pull the front disc tray off. so you can see into like the disc tray. You can see the thing.
Yeah.
And you get this thing. It was called like a magic key. It was literally like a piece of plastic that had a hook, and you'd slide it into the disc tray, and the hook would latch on to the lever to eject the disc, and you'd pull it right out, and you'd swap the disc. And that's how you do it for PS2. There was nothing else it needed. It used a regular blank disc that it came with, like this thing called like Swap Magic. You'd put it in first, it would detect it like a real disc, and then on the screen it'd say swap now, and you'd pull the tray out and go boop, and you just put the game back in, and it would just boot up.
But you're permanently missing like the little placard.
Yes, on the well, not the whole thing, but just the DVD front.
I mean, the one.
And then later on,
logo with the stripes.
Exactly. Later on, they updated it and just made it that you buy a top shell, you take the whole shell off of the PS2 and put this shell on, and it's just a top loading PS2. Then, like you'd put the disc in and you hit the button and pop, and just close the top. Like my PS2 got super modded where I just like I could see my disc and I just close the top, I'd open it and pull the disc out.
That's interesting.
It was the same thing, but yeah.
But it's funny when you look at the PlayStation.
Crimes that we
it was super cheap. I found it was called Magic Key for like $20. I was like, whoa, that's how you do this? I have disc spindle upon disc spindle upon disc spindle PS2 games. I had to trash them like over 500, like Japanese games, American games, anything, man. That shit came up. Burned it. My Xbox, I did the same thing too.
Well, that was the thing, right? Like you just find the ISO files online and you're like, burn.
Okay, because Dreamcast had that. And that's why Dreamcast went down the tanks, because it was the easiest system to be burned. Used Disc Juggler. And then the boot disc was that fucking reindeer that was flipping around, if you remember that.
Nice.
It was like this reindeer that sat in the middle, and that's when you eject your disc. And you put it in. I had a fucking binders of games, like the stupid fucking zip
Oscar
folder.
had that binders. Like,
everyone had that. It's like open it, and it had like someone burned those shitty covers too. I'd glue them on the CDs, so I knew what I was looking at. My buddy did that for me. But the PS2, then the Xbox, you find out that all you had to do for the Xbox, well, the Xbox, I had to put a chip on my system. You could solder it. I didn't. There was one, is a solderless chip. You open the Xbox, you take the hard drive out. My Xbox still looks like that. And there's like a spot on the motherboard that has like a little point for a screw. The chip sits on it and has prongs. The prongs connect to the motherboard. It lights up. You screw it in. It stays tight. You put the hard drive in. You get a new hard drive. That was that. Your Xbox is hacked. It has you flash it with a BIOS. It has a different load. Instead of saying Microsoft, it says like Executor 2. And I downloaded a whole fucking like UI for it, and it had music. I had a UI that played, God, I forgot, some anime music that I loved at the time. I had every emulator on that fucking shit. They would be like emulators, and then just NES, ZNES, SNES, Sega, and just every ROM, just MAME arcade emulator. Every day I download new MAME ROMs. And then how it worked is I had whatever the biggest hard drive you could at the time, which I think was probably like a couple hundred gigs. The 1 terabyte was showing up, but those are super fucking expensive at that time. So I had that, and then I did FTP shit. I haven't done FTP shit since. I'd go on the fucking... I had to do it for this. It was, you go on those weird...
like IRC boards.
But it wasn't like IRC. It was this weird fucking mass mail room thing. Like I'd connect to weird 1.5.111.games.room. And it was just like a fucking... text area. You'd open up mails and be like, here's the 70 zips for this one game. Download the zips, compile them, FTP them right to my Xbox.
Wow.
And I FTP'd. I had every goddamn game. Every week I'd get a new one and I'd bring it to my friend's house and we'd play. And there's like some I legit always kept. And outside of that, boom. And I could also get physical copies of games. This is when GameFly first came out, and I could burn them through my Xbox. It would put it on the system, and
the Xbox would burn itself?
Yes. The Executor had a program that you would download. It's a little app, and what it is, it detects a physical game, and then you say burn to disk, and then it just, and you just hear it go, woo, and it would just burn it. I used to rent games from GameFly, and then I would just send them back.
Wow, so the Xbox had a burner in it.
It was a burner.
It was a burner drive.
Yeah, it just detected itself. Yes. So that my Xbox, whatever, it's in my garage. It's like probably half dead, and we sometimes turn it on every so often. But it has all my old Super Nintendo ROMs, NES ROM, Sega Genesis, arcade, everything, and we would play that. I'd bring that shit, but my top would never close, so my Xbox was literally an open console with my hard drive in the disc tray, like just sitting there, and I'd bring it around.
What is it? Better?
It's the best console
cooling, I guess.
It was. Yeah, it was always open. And then the PSP is the next console that I hacked, and that's probably the best handheld you can hack.
Yes,
that thing I had a PC emulator on it. Like I'd play point and click adventures. I had like games on the SD card.
You can do with the
Super Nintendo emulators, everything on that thing.
You can do the Vista. No,
the Vita you can, but the PSP is still the best one, I believe.
It is.
Yeah, it runs.
I think it was a perfect size. The battery was great on it.
I had the original one too with the nice OLED screen. I mean, you couldn't use it outside, but indoors it was
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
super crisp.
I think I still have Chris's in my house.
Yeah, you can get that thing modded easy, the PSP.
Oh yeah.
It's one of the best. But yeah, Xbox, woo, man, I put every emulator in there. And it sounds so hard, but it wasn't. Once I figured out the FTP thing, I just download those zips, unpack them, and it'll just like hook it up to my dad's computer, and I'm like, just FTPing games. And like every night. Just FTPing. It takes like 5 minutes. That's it. Just boom, boom. And I'd plug in that fucking Ethernet cable from the Xbox right to the computer. It just like straight LAN the system.
Oh, you did a crossover.
Because that's how you're supposed to do it. It was just regular Ethernet. It's like just plug your regular one and then just go on this FTP program, and then it just detects that you're on this server, and then just go to the hard drive and drag it right to the fucking thing. And I had my games folder, and boop, that was that.
Yeah,
I had every Xbox game that ever
I never
come out.
screwed with that. I wish I have.
That would
have been great.
Once I found out it was just a chip you screwed, that's that.
Oh man.
The PS2, once I found out it was a thing called the Magic Key. I don't know where I was looking for this shit, and I found it. I was like, my mom got it for like, my parents,
your mom helping you.
My parents got me the chip for my Xbox for Christmas. I remember because my cousin had it, and then they told my parents about it, and then my parents weren't getting it. It was they got it, and they gave me an IOU in a box because the shipping was a little late because it was coming overseas from China. And the next week I got it, and I screwed it in, boom, and I just hacked the fucking shit of that Xbox.
That crime life.
That crime life, because they're like, you don't have to buy any games anymore.
Yeah. That's a good selling point to a parent. And he goes, hey, you do this. That's it. You got to pitch it. One-time investment. You don't have to buy any more games.
Yeah, it was like $50 and that was that. Or like 80 and I flashed it and that was that. I mean, like they were the ones primarily buying the games. I mean, I didn't have a job, so I'd buy like one game myself with allowance or whatever. But it's just like whatever. And the PS2, man, I just bought CDRs or DVDRs, man, and that was it. And just open that shit up, and I'd just be playing.
It's interesting because on that same video I watched, you see on the actual PlayStation where you put the disc is actually the space. It can fit a disc that's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
So he poses that Sony probably thought of, instead of using a standard CDR size, a regular disc, they thought about maybe putting out a bigger disc.
Like a huge one?
Yeah, if they put on a bigger disc that would actually take up the whole space, well, they would be able to make bigger games, that's for one. But the chance, since the actual CDR took off, chances are it either would have killed the system or it would have actually protected the games from being hacked, because those CDs aren't readily available. Well, they would have had like their own media.
That is true. A lot of the CDRs and a lot of the DVDRs for the PS2, when I look at them after they burn, it's like a little amount. Like it doesn't use any of that disc. It's like nothing. Same thing with the CDR.
Yeah, well, it depends on the game. Sometimes like, games don't use all the discs.
Well, I mean, but half those games, nothing ever like went crazy. It was just like, here you go.
Yeah.
Here's your fucking game for your disc that you paid for.
Wasn't there, I remember that was a big thing growing up. I want to say minus R. I want to say around no. I want to say around PlayStation or something, like, oh man, this game is so big, it uses like the whole disc. Or uses a
you
good part of it. I remember a lot of people saying that.
You couldn't really see because they were always like blue in the beginning. The PS1 games were all black and blue.
Black,
yeah.
They weren't really blue. Not that I remember.
They were like the deep blue, so they looked black. I know some of them later on became like kind of a weird.
Which the color didn't mean anything.
Well, it was just that you couldn't see what the fuck it was. It was just
it didn't mean anything. It wasn't even that.
I thought it just blocked it out. Like, I don't know how much data is on it.
I think it's just like,
it didn't even
this looks cool.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was so totally superficial. Like it didn't.
It did look.
Yeah, there was no.
They changed that later.
There's no difference. Some people thought it might have been a psychological thing, like, oh, you can't copy it because you need these black discs and you don't get these black discs anywhere else.
Yeah.
But no, it's a regular CDR. They just put up tint on it. Why? Because it doesn't matter. The laser just reads it normal, no matter what color it is. But I thought that was interesting.
Well, it was even like CDRs. Like I remember that depending on what the back looked like, it would be the life of the CDR. Like certain backs had a better life than other ones.
Oh, really? I only used to buy Memorex because I knew that was it. Those Memorex CDRs. Like I wouldn't touch. I wouldn't fuck with any other CDRs.
Oh no! At a certain point, I would get the 100 spindle of like Office Depot ones because they were actually really good.
They were super cheap too. I remember
super cheap.
Yeah. The worst is when I told my mom originally to buy them, she gave me the plus R's. I'm like, no, these are not the ones I need. I need the minus R's because you can't burn games on these. But yeah,
no, that was DVDs. It was
plus and minus.
CDRs were always just like dash R.
But it was that huge spindle of like 500 DVD-Rs. $10. What else am I gonna use this for? Burning illegally programs.
Well, I got into it. I got one of the first CD players that actually played MP3s. So I made a data disc. So I had like 350 fucking songs.
My buddy had the weird fucking when not the zip drives, but after the zip drives, they had those weird other versions of them. We had a zip drive on my computer.
Yeah.
Like zip discs, you mean?
Yeah, well, it was a zip drive and you put the zip disk in. But later on, some media players were like a weird version of a zip drive. It had like a screen. It was before the Zune a little bit. And I think it was trying to compete with the iPod Zune thing. It was like, this is going to be it. It uses zip files and boom, boom, boom. I forgot what the fuck it was called. My buddy had it. And I'm like, this is the weirdest fucking shit ever. This is dumb. And then it died. Died of 1,000 deaths.
I had the best comparison to the iPod because some of my friends, they had the
Bitch,
iPod.
I had the Zune. I still love the Zune.
I had the Dell DJ.
I don't know who the fuck you are, dude. Don't talk to me.
It was really good. Really good. I love that Dell DJ.
I have never seen one in person.
A Dell DJ?
I remember seeing them at Best Buy.
I can tell you I've seen a fucking N-Gage in person. I knew someone who physically had an N-Gage.
Wow.
Because back then
Took it
Dell...
to school and talk like
Someone
this.
who hated their life.
Talk that taco.
Because back then Dell wasn't in like a store. You had to go online and order it.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised.
I've
but-
never seen that before.
Yeah, I remember in high school rolling around the Dell DJ.
I remember I got that Zune, got that nice brown one with that glass, one of the original ones that first came out. So it was that weird glass case. Zunes were fire, man. Because iPod came out, it just had words, and Zune had I had all these pictures. I had a radio tuner. I love seeing the pictures on my fucking albums. Like, oh man,
I remember
this
my
is
cousin.
awesome.
I remember one of my cousins just
I love
being
the
like,
buttons
I'm
on
going to get a Zune because I can listen to the radio when I'm at the gym and blah, blah, blah. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's great. I want an iPod. She was like, oh, you're just an Apple fanboy. And I'm like, whatever, bro. Like, it looks dope. It can hold more songs than your Zune.
No, the Zune, when the Zune came out, it had more from the original iPod, and then they had a jack.
Well, no, I got like a series like 3 or 4
Oh, okay. iPod 1,
4th gen. Or
I forgot how much iPod 1 had, but when the Zune came out, it was like 4 gigs or something like that. And it was like blew everything out the water. I'm like, why would I not pay? I've seen that now.
I got
Yeah,
that.
a portion of the price.
Yeah, I was like, man, I could pay like $100, $189 and blow you out the water. And it was like so nice. And it was such a sleek thing. And I bought the thing from GameStop. I was so hyped for this thing.
When I met Caesar, some point after that, I had just gotten my first iPod, and I was still rocking my Dell DJ. It was around like 2007.
It's that weird, like, fucking
It
BlackBerry
was like
thing on it.
2007, 2008, and I ended up giving my DJ to Caesar because I got an iPod, and he rocked that for several years.
Why would you not, man? If
Past that, it
yeah.
worked great.
I used that Zune forever. I never got an iPod. Zune for fucking life. That thing was like it, man.
You and Peter Quill, bro.
Yeah,
And I still use the Zune music player, and I put that shit on.
yeah. Liz bought me an iPod. I still have it. It still works. Still works fine.
We bought my sister an iPod, but I was still the Zune. And then I gave her my Zune.
I've been wanting. There's a company that refurbishes your iPod and changes out the battery, and will give you a bigger hard drive if you want. I've been tempted to try and do it myself, but I hear the repairability is kind of a pain in the ass. It has no screws. It's just like probably like the sticky stuff.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't. It's just pry it open. And then
Yeah, I kind of don't want to mess with it. I was thinking about it. I forgot how much it is. It's not that expensive. You send it to them, and then they'll send it back to you. And I was like,
Oh, sorry.
That
I'm
was
sorry.
pretty cool.
Back to the conversation. The last thing I hacked for a system was a Wii. So Wii. I hacked
Banner bomb?
it was a Wii. Everybody and their mom hacked the Wii.
I
I think.
hacked the
A
Wii.
banner bomb hack or like the discs? Disc error hack.
It was the fucking Zelda game. Put that thing in, save file, blanked out, and it took me to the
Twilight
screen.
Princess?
Yeah, and it took me that weird screen, and then I downloaded that. It's like this weird fucking speed metal music playing.
It was,
and I-
wait, so I never had a Wii, so it was built into a game.
yes, you had to download. You had to get Twilight Princess.
There was a glitch to it specifically.
And there's like a save file, and
gotcha.
and it like boots the save file up, and he's like staring at a wall, and it goes, "Ew," and then it goes to the weird fucking UI, and the UI is playing like fucking speed metal and shit, and it's like this guy, it's like fucking
Yeah,
weird.
it's like super original, right?
Yeah, it's one of those.
You expect it's like one of the, super hacker man.
yeah, and then it just plays music, and it just fucking hacks your shit and puts the homebrew channel, all that stuff like that.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I just
that was
found
the
a-
last system I hacked.
I just found a very old email in a Yahoo that was just like, welcome to vitasworld.com.
I went to the
2009
PlayStation hackers or whatever it was. I was gonna originally hack my PlayStation. I was talking to someone. It took a lot of effort to do it. Like that one, you had to solder. You had to do a lot. PS3. You had to do a lot of shit to it. And then towards the end of its life cycle, and the 360, I was trying to look at it. They introduced this thing where you didn't have to. It would like weird attachment that would flash the system and make it think that you had the games. All this weird fucking thing. But 360 was already Xbox One and PS4 were right around the corner. I was
Yeah,
like,
it was
why am I
no
gonna do
point.
that?
There's no point.
Yeah. Oh, whatever. That's my end of my hacking life cycle.
I didn't really, do the whole hacking thing really. There was one thing is that there was a couple DBZ games that I believe the PS2 was region locked. and it couldn't be played.
Oh, they all
and
were.
they're all Japanese and
Yeah, well, that's what I did for the PS1. That's why I played it. DBZ Legends. That's the one I really played.
That was one thing I really wanted to do, and I know one place had the game, and I wanted it, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to play it.
Well, the PS1, I know when I put that little tape, I was region free. The little swap thing, you were region free.
I never looked into it.
And my PS2 is region free with that little swap, that key thing, because I bought games on eBay and I brought them over. I got like the Naruto ones in Japan and stuff before they started showing up to America, because I really liked the fighting ones.
I remember it wasn't even like region locking anything, but going on eBay and trying to find like the Japanese Yu-Gi-Oh games just to get like the special cards that came with them.
I know.
I'm like, I want these Egyptian god cards right now, and I never bought them.
Yeah, I was that guy when I first started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I would buy like Japanese cards.
I had that for a few for the Pokemon cards.
And then I would play, I would put them in like the decks I would play. So I'd play like this Japanese card. I'm like, what does that do? And I'm like, oh, translation.
This is what it does, believe me.
I remember that's how I got a crush card of death. Just like, here you go. I was watching it on the show and just being like, ooh, I got that Kaiba secret trap card.
No, but even like stupid cards like Monster Reborn are just like regular generic cards. I would switch them out for the Japanese ones because the picture just look cooler.
Yeah.
The Japanese version just look cooler.
That's why I had a lot of the Japanese Pokemon cards, because I like the art form.
Mm-hmm.
The art form.
All right. Work, my friend.
So have we reached a nice natural stopping point? Excellent. Because I didn't have anything to talk about today. Well done, folks. So until next week, when there's another episode of the Really Low Podcast, I have been Rocky.
Chris.
Rick.
And we'll catch you then. Bye.